Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark neighborhood naturally occurring retirement community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. We're going to go ahead and get right into it, always starting at the top of our body and working our way down. So let's go ahead. If you have your water, make sure your water's there. Optional, you don't need, but if you have a light pair of dumbbells, I'll show you when you can use them, but no worries if you don't have them, it's not necessary, okay? So let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall in our chair, okay? You can do these standing too if you prefer, okay? We just want to make sure we're lengthening the spine, right? Sitting up nice and tall. It's active work to sit up nice and tall. Round the shoulders back and down, okay? And we're going to start with chin tucks, okay? We're just going to tuck, and it's a small movement, okay? I'll show you from the side here. You don't have to put your finger on your chin if you don't want to. I kind of like to guide myself here. We're just going to tuck the chin back, very small stretch to the back of the neck here, okay? And forward, okay? Go ahead and tuck again, 2 and 3. Here's what it looks like without the finger on the chin, 4, 5, very small, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, now we're going to 5 per side. Turn our heads right to left here. Okay, so here we go. We're going to look one direction, back to center, and then the other. 2, 3, so still sitting up nice and tall. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Go ahead and shake it out here for a second. We're going to go into 10 seated cat-cows. Okay, I'm going to show you what that looks like from the side here. Okay, so what happens is I'm going to end up tucking my chin down and I'm rounding and curving my spine. You see how I'm doing that on the side here? And then I'm going to exhale. I'm going to lift up. I'm going to look up and I'm going to lengthen and reach and arch my spine. Okay, so nice stretch here. And then we're going to round it back down. And exhale up 2. Inhale down. Exhale up 3. Inhale down and round. Exhale up 4. Lengthen. Inhale, round it down. Exhale up 5. 5 more just like that. Inhale down. Exhale 6. Inhale down. Exhale 7. Inhale down. Exhale 8. Inhale down. Exhale 9. And One more. Inhale down. And exhale 10. Reach it up. Good. So really just trying to get that spinal column moving after a night of sleeping here. Okay, and moving on to some shoulder stretches here. We're going to start with some dynamic movements. We're just going to do shoulder rolls. Let's start with shoulder rolls forward for 10, okay? So fingertips are just down at the side. I'm still sitting up nice and tall, or I'm standing, okay? Here we go. We're going to go forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Same thing, but now we're going to roll them back. Still sitting up nice and tall. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an arm circle. Okay. If that's too much on your joints, you can either just kind of do like an elbow circle, just like this, or keep it at the shoulder. Okay. So if going out all the way is, it bothers your shoulders, go ahead and pick one of the alternatives, either here, okay, or back to what we just did. All right. So we're going to go forward for 10. Here we go. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Shake it out. We're going to do that again, but now we're going to go back. Again, pick your alternatives, either right here or just like we did for the first set. Sorry, we're going back this round if the straight arm's too much. Going back for 10. Ready? Begin. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Feeling that first thing. All right, we're going to do some quick neck stretches here real quick. So we're going to go ahead and press and pull and just feel that nice stretch through the side of the neck here, and take a nice deep breath. And exhale. And one more breath on this side. And exhale. Good. Gently release. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to grab onto the side of my head here, press down with that opposite hand, and feel that nice stretch along the side of the neck. We're going to inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. All right. And final stretch, we're going to get the underside of the shoulder now. We're going to go to a lat stretch. So we can come over like this. And if you'd like to intensify it, you can grab onto that wrist and kind of pull it up and over. Okay. Feeling that nice stretch to the side of the body here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Gently come out of that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Reach. You can either stay right here, or if you'd like to intensify it a little more, grab onto that wrist and pull up and over. We're going to inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Good. All right. Come out of that. Let's go ahead and shake that out. We're going to go into our first block of 3 sets. We're going to do seated high rows. Okay, so we're sitting up. I'm still nice and tall through my spine here. Okay, I'm on that marionette string, right? And I'm just going to pretend almost like you're in a rowboat. Okay, like you're rowing back. All right, we're going to do 12 reps. All right, we're going to row back for 12. I want you to think of squeezing your shoulder blades together in the back. We're working the back muscles right here when we do this. It's really good for posture. Okay, so we're going to do 12 of those. And then after that, we're going to do more rows, but we're going to row from a different direction. I want you to pretend like you're pulling a rope down, alternating your hands. Okay, you're pulling a rope down, down, down. Okay, you're working the lower part of your back right down in here. Okay. And then the last one we're going to do is a stretch, and we're going to take our hands, we're going to put them behind the back of our head here. I'm just gonna kind of lift up, lifting our heart to the ceiling. All right, and lifting up, and it was kind of like pulling up through your spine. You want to feel like you're stretching your vertebrae, okay? All right, so I'm going to guide you through all these. We're going to start with our seated high row. So sit up nice and tall. Think of being in your rowboat here, and we're going to pull back. 1, okay? Remember, you're working your back here. 2, so squeeze those shoulder blades together. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, last 2, and 1. Good, shake it out. We're gonna go into our alternating rope pull downs, okay? We're gonna do 6 per side, 12 total. Sitting up nice and tall, ready, begin. 1, still working our back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Shake it out right here. Okay, next, we're still sitting up nice and tall. You're going to take your hands, you're going to put them on the back of your neck right here. Okay, kind of resting on where your head and your neck meet here. Okay, I'm going to lift my heart to ceiling, and I'm kind of using my hands to try to think of lengthening my vertebrae, just stretching everything out and trying to get my heart to face the ceiling there. And breathe, inhale, and exhale. And again, inhale, and exhale. Good, and relax, shake it out. That's 1 round. We're gonna do 2 more just like that, okay? So we're gonna start with our 12 rows, okay? And this is like we're rowing in a boat, like we're in a rowboat here, okay? Working the back muscles, think of squeezing those shoulder blades in the back. Ready? Here we go, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 2, and 1. Good. Shake it out. Okay, we're going to go into our rope pull downs. We've got 6 per side, 12 total. Okay, still working the back, just a little bit lower on the sides of the back here. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Shake it out. We're going to go into our stretch here, okay? So I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to put them behind my head here where my neck and my head meet. Okay, I'm going to lift my heart to ceiling, and I'm kind of trying to pull up on my head a little bit and just feel like I'm stretching out those vertebrae, okay? Trying to keep the elbows back, wherever your range of motion is. You might be here, that's okay. Some of you might be able to get a little further back like this. Wherever you feel the stretch is good, okay? And breathe. And again. Good, and relax. Okay, we're gonna do this 1 more time through. So going back to our row, like we're in our rowboat for 12, okay? Sitting up nice and tall. Here we go, we're gonna take those oars and row them back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 2, and 1. Good, shake it out. All done with those. We're gonna go into our rope pull downs, alternating. We've got 6 per side, 12 total, sitting up nice and tall. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Shake it out. We're all done with those. We've got our stretch. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our palms, put them behind our head, right where our neck and our head meet. We're going to kind of lift up, reaching our heart towards the ceiling. Okay, Feel that stretch through the spine. And breathe, inhale, and exhale. And again, inhale, and exhale. Good, and just relax out of that. Okay, we're moving on to our next set. We're gonna go back to a Tabata, so we're doing some of those timed intervals. So we've got 2 exercises we're gonna bounce back and forth from, and we're gonna do that for 4 rounds total, okay? And it'll be 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest, and I'll tell you when to stop and start. Our first exercise, still working on back muscles, is our L fly, okay? Not done with those back. Remember, this is really good for posture. We don't want to be, we don't want to be feeling like we're kind of, our normal position is like this all day long, right? We want to be able to sit up nice and tall. These are the kinds of exercises that help keep those muscles strong so that we're not leaning forward all the time, okay? So we've got 20 seconds of L flies that we're going to do, all right? After that, we get 10 seconds rest, and then we're going to go into our curl press. This one's right here, okay? If you have a light pair of dumbbells and you'd like to use them, again, this is an option. You don't have to, if you don't have them, don't worry about it, okay? You're sitting up nice and tall. My knuckles stay out to the sides the whole time, and I'm just gonna curl it and press it. Curl, press, bring it down, okay? The movement will look exactly the same without weights, okay? So we're gonna go on the clock. We're gonna start with our L fly. Okay, so here we go. All right, working the back muscles. So think of that back. Ready? In 3, 2, and 1. Begin. Here we go. You're gonna hear those dings. 1. I don't even need to count because we're just for time. So squeeze. All right, pulling the shoulder blades together. Squeeze. Squeeze. We have 5 more seconds. 2. And 1. Shake it out. We're going to go into our curl to press next. Okay. You can use that light pair of dumbbells if you want. I'll just hang on to them here for this set. And ready? Begin. Curl, press, bring it back. Curl, press, bring it back. Are you sitting up nice and tall? Press, bring it back. 5 more seconds here. 2. And 1. Okay, relax. We're going to go back to our L fly now. This is round 2. We're going to do 4 rounds of this total. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze. Squeeze. If you need a little rest before that 20 seconds is up, that's okay. I want you to listen to your body. If you feel your muscles are getting too fatigued to do this for the full 20 seconds, go ahead and rest, okay? And 1. Okay, relax. We're going to go back to our curl to press. I'm going to do this round without the weights. Okay, 5 seconds to start. Sitting up tall. Here we go. Begin. Curl, press, bring it back. Curl, press, bring it back. You can see how exercises like this translate to real life. Like if you're picking up some, I don't know, a 5-pound bag of flour and you're trying to put it up in a higher cabinet in your house. Okay, you can see how this would translate to being able to do that. All right, rest here. We're going back to our L flies. All right, this is the top of round 3. Ready and begin. Squeeze. 2. Again, if you need a little extra rest, that's okay, all right? I don't want you to feel like you're gonna hurt yourself if it just feels like it's too much work. A little extra rest is okay. 2 and 1. Shake it out. Going back to our curl to press. I'll use the dumbbells again for this round. Again, these are optional props here. 3, 2, and 1. Curl, press, bring it back. 2. 3, 4, and time on these. Okay, we have 1 more set and then we're going to move on. Okay, so final time that we do each of these 2 exercises, starting with the L flies. 3, 2, and 1. Last round here. 2, sitting up tall. 3, 4. I don't even need to count, it's just habit. We're on the clock. Really feeling my arms right now. I don't know about you guys too. And 1, shake that out. Okay, we have one more set of curl to press, and then we're gonna move on. Curl to press in 3, 2, 1, sitting up tall, press. Last 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we get to rest here, all right? Take rest, get a drink if you need one. We are gonna go into 2 rounds of 3 exercises next, okay? And I like this one. We did this last week and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do too. We're gonna do a straight arm. We're gonna kind of arc over, right? I'm arcing over, like I'm making a rainbow with my hand, and I'm twisting, and then I'm gonna twist to the other side. And then I'm gonna twist to the other side. Okay, so I'm kind of just making an arc with my arms, and I'm twisting back and forth. I like this one seated because it's disassociation. Our hips are staying forward, but we're twisting that thoracic spine and really getting a good stretch, okay? So we're gonna do 10 of those, 5 per side, just like I showed you, all right? And then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to twist and hold, okay? So now we're just taking what we just did, and we're just gonna hold on one side for 15 seconds, and then hold again on the other side for 15 seconds, okay? And then the last thing we're gonna do is our forward fold. So we're gonna kind of come up to the edge of our chair, and we're gonna inhale it up, and then we're just gonna exhale, fold ourselves over. Oh, that feels so good. Round the back, and then we're gonna come up nice and slow. Okay, we're gonna do 3 of those. So we're gonna do 2 rounds of this right here. All right, sitting up nice and tall, kind of towards the edge of your chair. We're starting with those arc overs, okay? We're twisting here, okay? Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna arc over, twist. Other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, we're going to come back to center. Now we're going to go ahead to one side, and we're going to twist, and we're going to hold. So I'm just going to twist. You can put your opposite hand on the outside of that leg to kind of get into that stretch. And I'm looking over that back shoulder there. We're going to hold. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. Good. Come on out of that. We're going to even out and get the other side. So twisting in the other direction, do the same thing. We're going to look over that back shoulder, opposite hand on the outside of the leg, and we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good, and bring it back to center. Okay, now we're going to do 3 forward folds. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to inhale and reach it up. And then we're going to exhale. We're just going to round her back and fold it over wherever your range of motion is. Tuck that chin. Just feel that really nice stretch through the lower back. Just enjoy the stretch, and then gently, one vertebrae at a time, come up nice and slow, not to get yourself dizzy. Okay. Good. That's 1. We're going to do 2 more like that. We're going to inhale, reach it up, and exhale, fold it down. Good. Let your upper body, let your head and your arms kind of hang there like dead weight. Feel that stretch through the lower back, and then gently and very slowly start rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow. We don't want to get dizzy. Okay. We have 1 more like that. All right, here we go. We're going to inhale it up and exhale, fold it down. Good. Hang there for a second, chin is tucked, and then gently and slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. All right, and that's our 3. We're going to go through this One more time. Okay, so we're going back to our arc over twists for 10, 5 per side. All right, so sitting up, I'm kind of towards the edge of my chair here. We're going to get ready and we're going to arc over and twist. 1, other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good, come back to center. Now we're gonna hold or stretch for about 15 minutes or seconds per side. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick one side. We're gonna twist, we're gonna take our opposite hand up to the outside of the leg and look over that back shoulder and inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. Good, gently come back to center. Same thing other side. All right, so we're going to twist, take that opposite hand to the outside of that leg, look over the back shoulder. We're going to inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good, and come back to center. All right, now we have 3 forward folds and then we're going to move on. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. We're at the edge of our seat. We're going to inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, gently and slowly forward fold through your own personal range of motion. You're just really trying to feel that stretch through the back, the lower back, and maybe through the upper back as well. Tuck the chin and then gently, gently, gently roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. That's 1, 2 more like that. We're going to inhale it up. And exhale, let it fold over, enjoy the stretch, let your arms kind of become like a dead weight here, okay, they're just hanging there, tuck the chin, and then gently, 1 vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, bring yourself back up to seated. Good, sitting up tall, we have 1 more rep just like that. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, arms up, exhale, fold it over. No rush, just round into it. Let it feel good here. Feel the stretch through the spine and then gently and slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Good, all right. Take a breather here, we're moving on. We're gonna go into, there's 4 parts to this next round. All right, we are going to do tricep overhead extensions, okay? So I'm going to show you with and without weights, okay? So this is for the underside of your arm right here, okay? You'll also get good elbow mobility through this as well, okay? So we're just going to kind of up, all right? You can kind of think of your, trying to get your thumbs towards your shoulders here, up, okay? Up, and I want you to think about when you're nice and straight, squeezing right here, okay? If you would like to use a light pair of weights, you would just kind of hold them in your hands here, up. I'm sitting up nice and tall too. I'm not letting myself round through my back. Okay, I'm sitting up tall. And if 2 weights is too much and you want to do 1 weight, you just kind of hold it the long way like this, all right? Up, up, up. Okay, so that's your tricep options there. You can do this body weight. I'm going to show the first one with body weight, okay? After we do 10 of those, we're going to do some wrist rolls, okay? We're going to do 10 in one direction and 10 in another, okay? So we're getting our forearms here, our wrists, all right? After that, we are going to do, we're going to take our fingertips and place them behind our head. We're going to pull those elbows back. All right, again, another posture exercise here, okay? So back, okay? So we're squeezing together in the back and our fingertips are just gently resting on the back of our head here, okay? And then the last one is we're gonna do some wrist stretches, okay? So we're gonna stretch for 10 seconds per side. So we're gonna do this for, I think 2 rounds will be good for this one for today. Okay, so we're gonna start with that tricep extension. So we're coming up overhead. All right, I'm trying my best to get my elbows up towards the ceiling. I mean, I don't expect you to be, all the way up there, but you're not trying to keep them down here. You're trying to get them up a little bit. You see, mine aren't up there all the way, but here we go. We're going to go ahead and extend straight. 1, and squeeze the back of the arm. 2, right here. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, shake it out. Okay, it might feel a little hard, actually, just being overhead like that. Okay, now we're going to do wrist rolls. Okay, so you can have your hands. You can even have your hands down here if they're tired. If your shoulders are tired from keeping them up, you can even roll down here. Okay, the thing is, we just went 10 in one direction. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, nice big circles. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Shake it out. Okay. We're still sitting up nice and tall. Now we're going to take those fingertips. We're just going to place them gently on the back of our head here. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and sit up tall, and we're going to squeeze and pull back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Shake it out. Good. We have one more set of those 3x or those. I'm sorry. And now we're going into our wrist stretches. I've got this is a 4-part one today. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just take those fingertips and pull back on them. You should feel a nice stretch through the inside of the arm here. And breathe. Good. Shake that out. Same thing other side. All right. Pull those fingertips back. And breathe. And good. And shake that out. Okay, now we're back to the top. Last round, we're going to do that overhead tricep extension. And I do just want to give you an alternative. If that first set felt really tough to keep your arms up overhead, and if you've been with me and you remember, this is another option right here. Okay, if that feels better for your body, this is working the same muscle group. So you can switch to that. You just forward leaning a little bit and on the extension. Still, just like this, when your arm is straight, regardless which option you choose, that's when you're really talking to this muscle on the back of the arm, saying squeeze, okay? All right, so here we go. We're going to do 10 overhead tricep extensions, or you do that kickback if this bothers you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, sitting up tall, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Shake it out. All done with those. Okay. Going into our wrist rolls. Remember, if it feels too much to keep them up in front of you, you can keep your arms at the sides. Okay. We're just looking to get that mobility through the wrists. We're going to go 10 circles in one direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the other direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Shake that out. Okay. We're going to go into our second set where we put our fingertips behind our head here, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to go ahead and pull the elbows back and squeeze. 1, 2, 3, like our wings. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Relax that. This time with our stretch, we're going to do the stretch on the top part of our forearm. So instead of the last time we had our we had our fingertips, our palms facing out like this to get the inside. Now we're gonna have our knuckles facing out, and that's gonna get the outside, the top of the arm, okay? So just holding that, nice big breath. Good, relax that. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Those knuckles are facing away from you now. We're pulling those fingertips in towards us. We're gonna inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, good. And go ahead and just take your fingers and just kind of, you know, wiggle them about here. All right, just get the blood moving through those fingertips here, okay? Okay, so moving right along. Next set we have going into some lower body movements now. Everything else we're doing now is all in the lower body. So we are going to do another Tabata. Okay, so just like we did before with the 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, there's 2 exercises. All right, and it's our seated march. Okay, so and remember, opposite hand and foot lift at the same time, right? Boom, 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 boom. This can be done standing too. If you want to kick it up a notch, you can do this standing, okay? And we're pairing this with our abduction, okay? So right here, okay? Kind of rolling out onto the sides of your feet. And in fact, if you take your feet to probably about shoulder width apart, so if you notice my feet right here are kind of like where my shoulder stops, all right? Kind of right there. That'll give you just a little, you might feel that just a little bit more through the sides. You're working, that's a glute med you're working. Really good for stabilizing the hip and knee joint, because this is good for balance, all right? So again, those 2 are the seated march or standing, and then our abduction, all right? Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, let's march. All right. If you're feeling, you know, like you got some stamina here, you could always go a little bit quicker here, all right? Or you can just keep it nice and controlled here, okay? You do what works best for you and your body, okay? Sitting up tall, 3, 2, 1. Good, let's open our feet a little bit wider here, okay? Sitting up nice and tall. We're gonna get ready to go into abduction here, working on our glute meds. And 2, 1, out, out. Out, out, okay? Kind of rolling on the sides of those ankles, or not ankles, the sides of the feet. 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's get ready to go back into our seated march again, okay? Here we go, in 3, 2, and 1, begin, all right? You pick a pace that's comfortable for you. Maybe you're feeling like you're getting pretty strong at this and your pace is here now, okay? And you're going a little bit faster. That's great, but it's not necessary. If this is still really good for you, then that's where you should be at, okay? So just pick what works right for you. 2, 1, all right, rest. We're gonna go back into our abduction here. So I'm gonna open my feet just a little bit wider, about shoulder width here. Remember, we're kind of rolling out on the sides of our feet here, and begin. Good. 5 more seconds here. And time, okay? Top of round 3, going back to our seated march. Again, really trying to pay attention to that hand-foot pattern. And again, you can be done standing too to intensify it. And begin. Go at a pace that's comfortable for you. We're going to pick it up a little bit this round. Don't forget to breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, getting ready for abductions. I'm going to widen my feet here just slightly here. And in 3, 2, 1. I'm still sitting up tall. Out. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, we have one more round. Okay, one more round to go through. Back to those seated march for the final time or standing in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You go at a pace that works good for you. If my pace is too fast, you do not have to go this fast. Slow it down, right? We want quality over quantity, okay? Quality form always trumps a lot of reps. Okay, if you're doing a lot of reps and they're not good reps, you're not really working the muscle the way you should be. Okay, so here we go. Last set of abduction in 3, 2, and 1. Remember, those feet are out to shoulder height or shoulder length width. Good. We move on after this. Two and 1. Okay. Next exercises. We have 2 rounds. We're going to do. There's 3 exercises: seated, alternating leg extensions. Okay, we're going to do 20, 10 per side. Okay, so you're getting a stretch through the hamstring. You're getting a contraction, a muscle strengthening through the top of the leg, the quadricep. Okay, and you're also getting that mobility through the knees. Okay, so you're working on getting that synovial fluid moving. Okay, making your knees feel less creaky throughout the day. All right, so we're going to do 10 per side, alternating on that. All right, and then we're going to do our lateral toe taps. All right, and this, move this back a little bit. Tap, tap. Okay, tap, tap. So we're getting a little more glute med work, and we're also getting a little bit of a stretch through the inner thigh here. Okay. And then our last one, this is going to be a new one here. This is a star crossover crunch. So you're sitting up nice and tall. And basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to take my opposite arm towards my opposite leg. Okay, so you're kind of, think of that opposite foot kind of going in the direction of your knee a little bit. Boom. Okay, boom. And you don't have to have your hand up here. If that hurts, keep your hands a little bit lower. Boom. Okay, boom. All right, so you're going to get a little bit of inner thigh. You're going to get some core work here. And we're going to do 5 per side on that. Okay, so 20 total, 10 per side on the leg extensions, 5 per side on our lateral taps, 10 total, and then 5 per side, 10 total of our crossovers. Okay, we've got 2 rounds. I'm excited for this one. Sit up nice and tall. We're starting with our leg extensions. Okay, ready and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm squeezing the top of my leg. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good. Shake it out. Sit up nice and tall. You're at the edge of your seat because we want some room for these lateral taps. Okay, we've got 5 per side total. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3. You should even feel your groin. 4. Kind of stretch out here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. And 10. Good. Okay. Sitting up nice and tall, still on the edge of our chair. We're going into our crossovers now. We've got 5 per side total, 10, or 5 per side total, yep, which is 10 total. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're hitting our inner thigh. 6, 7, 8, and getting some rotation. 9, and 10. Good. That was our first set. We're going to do that one more time through. Actually, let me move this back just a little bit. So I feel like I'm a little intimidated by that. Okay, here we go. We're starting with our leg extensions. We've got 10 per side on these. These will go a little bit longer. Nice and tall. Okay, we're going to go ahead and extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good. Sitting up nice and tall, edge of the seat. Okay, lateral taps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Really trying to reach that leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right. Still sitting at the edge of our chair. We have our crossover crunches now. Ready? Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax. That's the end of that set. That last exercise was a new one. There's a little bit of internal rotation of the leg there. So it's we haven't been doing a lot of internal rotation of the leg. So that's a nice addition that I would like to keep in with our training now. Okay, 2 rounds for the next one here. We're going to do our ankle raises and our sit to stand. Okay, hands down, one of the best exercises we can do is that sit to stand, which is like our squat. Okay, and remember your hover is your alternative right here. You're just lifting your butt up. Okay, if you have arms to the chair, that's even better just because it gives you a little more, height to lift up and sit down. And if you find you're like, man, I wish I could stand up and sit down a little bit better, but it's just too hard. I do want you to think about when you're in bed in the morning doing glute bridges, which after class, I'll show you again. I've showed before, but just because I'm talking about it specifically, I'll show you again. I want you to consider doing glute bridges in bed if you find that it's too hard to do this exercise, okay? Because that's kind of like the start of that exercise, okay? So anyways, we're doing that, and then we are doing ankle raises, all right? So you can even put your hands on your knees here to just go ahead and get those ankles moving and work the calves, okay? Starting with our sit to stand though, or our hover, okay? We've got 10 reps. I'm gonna do 10. If less is better for you, that's okay. You go at your own pace here. Okay, here we go. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right. Relax here. All right. We're going to go into those ankle raises here. So we're just lifting our heels of our feet. You can have your hands on the front of your knees here. And we're going to lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right. One more set to sit to stand, okay, or your hover. All right. Here we go. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Sit it down. Okay. This time, instead of doing our heel raise, we're going to do a toe raise. Because now it's like you're kind of like, it always reminds me of like you're being impatient, like, we're waiting for something here. Okay, so we're just going to be lifting those toes and lowering. Okay, we got 10 reps here. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. just go ahead and give a little ankle circle, 5 in one direction and then 5 in the other. All right, and then the same thing on the other side, 5 in one direction and 5 in the other. All right, last set of stretches here, guys. We have our lateral lunge. One of my favorites here. If you're with me, you know this. We're gonna sit on the edge of our chair. Okay, we've got the one leg bent, and then the leg that we're stretching, we're trying to extend long. Okay, so, and we're gonna find that little angle. You need to figure out what's right for your upper body so that you wanna feel stretch right through here, okay? On that extended leg, all right? And we're gonna inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Gently come out of that stretch, okay? We're gonna even out. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So now the leg we just stretched is bent, and then we're gonna straighten out the one that we haven't stretched yet. Okay, so we're getting that angle, and then we're just kind of moving our body around where you feel that stretch best. I'm about right here. I feel it right through the inside of my thigh here, my groin, okay, my hip flexor. We're gonna inhale and exhale, and inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Gently come out of that. Now we just stretch the inside of the hips. Now we're going to stretch the outside. Okay, so we're going to go into you can either cross your leg like this, okay? And if that's too hard, you can always just keep it, more bent like this, all right? Where it's just the knee's not quite as close to the other knee, all right? But either way you do it, you're gonna just twist over the opposite side, okay? And you're just gonna hold and twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Gently come out of that. 2 breaths for that one. All right, we're going to switch legs now. Okay, so crossing over and twisting. All right, we're going to inhale and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. And let's go ahead and come back to a center seat here. We're going to inhale, lift our hands up. Bring them into prayer pose. Exhale down to heart. Good, that's 1. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift it up. Hands to prayer. Exhale, bring it down to center and relax and shake it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's class. Again, let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. And real quick, I'm just going to show you. I know I've showed you in the past, but just in case you're new or you don't remember what I'm talking about, I just want to show you that glute bridge real quick. Okay, so this class is over. I'm just showing. If you have a hard time doing your sit to stand, this one right here, all right? If this is really challenging for you and you're like, I'm still right here, like that's okay, all right? There's nothing wrong with this. You just stick with where, you work best, all right? Like I said, sometimes when you have a chair that has handles, it's even better because it's just, it helps, it helps than having your hands down here. I just don't have a chair like that. So if you're right there and you're thinking, boy, I'd really like to try to get a little better, in your bed. I always suggest in your bed because that way you don't have to think, how am I going to get up off the floor now that I'm down here, okay? So pretend I'm in my bed, okay? All right, I'm laying on my back. All right, I'm bringing my knees, they're bent here, okay? And I am through the heels of my feet. I'm just trying to rock and tuck my pelvis, all right? So I'm trying to just tuck my pelvis. So if I'm untucked, I can like slip my hand under here. I don't want to go up in that direction because I can hurt my back. I just want to kind of tuck and make sure that my lower back is pressed into the bed. I can no longer get my hand underneath my back now, okay? So that is what a tuck is. And from that position, you're just lifting the glutes up. You're squeezing the glutes up and down, up and down, okay? And these are the same muscles, the glute maximus, that are responsible for helping you get up and down out of chair with ease, okay? So strengthen these, all right? If you're having trouble doing the sit to stand, or you'd like to be a little bit better at it, consider doing 3 sets of 10 in the morning before you get out of bed, okay? All right, just a suggestion. And any questions, please feel free to ask. Oh, I see a comment coming in, but it's too far away to read it. Let's see here. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I just want to commend you guys. If you're coming here every week and you're staying consistent, consistency is such a big part of your fitness success. Like nothing comes quickly. You know, you have to put the work in, and consistency will get you there. So I appreciate you guys. If you're showing up every week and putting the work in, that's how it's done. So thank you. And I'm sure Z will be back with us shortly.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
No, we're here. We're here. It's all good. I'm trying to read the private chat, so we get a lot of questions. We've got it. Rosemary said, "Thank you, Coach Elaine," and Julie publicly said, "Thank you, Coach Elaine," and very good session. However, I've got a couple of private chats here, so people had a couple of questions for you. People say that like their body is really achy because of the rain. So can you give us some exercises to help mitigate that? That would be lovely. Some suggestions.
Yeah, you know, I would say, you know, joints can get a little achy through the rain. So what I would suggest with that is focusing more on, instead of thinking of a stretch of a muscle group, instead of thinking of stretching the muscle, which is more of like a flexibility thing, I would think of the mobility of a joint and how it can move. So, because a lot of times when we get achy because of the weather, or, you know, we have arthritis, it's within our joints. Our joints are stiff, right? You know, so that's where you focus more on movements that you're not holding, but you're going through, okay? So hands down, one of the best ones that I like to start with is through the spine. And we did this one today with our cat-cows. I'm just showing you from the side here so you get a better view, is where you're kind of, let's start with the spine, right? Because that's where the spinal cord fluid is. Everything starts with central nervous system. Everything starts from there, okay? So let's start with trying to get our spine to just move nice and easy, okay? So I'm just going from I'm flexing down and then I'm extending up, okay? And we're going to do, you can do 5 to 10 reps here, okay? Just kind of going through your back. And then I want you to think of every joint in your body. So I can start with my neck here. Let's just say we're going to, you know, do our neck stretches, right? After we do our neck stretches, think, okay, our elbow, there's a joint there, right? So, you know, let's do some shoulder circles, right? Let's do so. We're trying to mobilize the joint. We're trying to get blood flow to the joint. We're trying to get it to move a little bit easier. Okay, same thing here with the elbow joint. Let's do some curls here. All right, get some blood flow to the joint. We're moving it. Okay, and then same thing. You can go backwards with it too, moving it. Your ankle, look, another joint. Our wrists. Okay. Movement through our wrist. So again, you know, this is mobility right here because I'm trying to move the joint. Okay, when you're stretching the muscle, that's a little different. That would be like me doing this now. Now I'm focused on the muscle right here in the arm versus the joint moving. But like I said, most of the time our achiness can come through our joints. Okay, same thing with our hips. I know hips are a big one for I think a lot of people. Okay, so I would start with, you know, get maybe a little thoracic rotation. And then if you're in the chair, big hip circles, okay? Feet wide, okay? Feet nice and wide. I'm wider than shoulder width right here, okay? Big hip circles, as big as your body will allow you to, okay? That'll get your hips moving here. And however many reps, if you do 5 in one direction, make sure you even out and do 5 in the other. This is one of those ones that can be, you can do this standing too. It looks a little different because your butt gets a little more involved when you're standing, okay? 5 in one direction, and then 5 in another, okay? And the same thing, if you're seated, you can, with your knees, you know, kind of getting those extensions, you know, knees can be really creaky. You can even just, you know, rock back and forth here like this for your knees. If you're able to from a stand-in position, it kind of looks a little silly, but this is a big exercise to kind of get that synovial fluid moving in your knees right here too. That might be a little tricky, right? That's a harder one. So again, I would, you know, if that leg looks very challenging, right here, flex them out and then shake them side to side too, okay? Same thing with the ankles. It's all about just thinking of your joints and like, okay, let me get the move, let me get the blood to flow to that joint, all right? And the other thing that really helps too is think of your breath, that when you're inhaling, you're giving your blood new oxygen, right? So nice big inhales, okay, get new oxygen into the blood, and then nice deep exhales, okay? That way you're kind of always refreshing your blood flow through your breathing, all right? So hopefully that's helpful. Think when you're achy, when the weather's bothering you, think more of how can I make my joint move a little bit better? And if there's a little pain, just work within the range that you can. Don't force it into anything it doesn't want to do. So hope that helps.
Yes, that's wonderful, Coach. That is most excellent. Thank you so much. You know, you looked very powerful from that stance on the chair, and the joints, moving the joints are really good. Now we have one more question that was private chatted to me. I was trying to like private chat with the person to figure it out. This one is about the core and warming up the core. Because if you feel cold a lot, right? Like in yoga, we have the breathing, there's a breathing that can really warm you up. So is there any core exercises that you could recommend to like help us stay warm?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's funny because the first thing that came to my mind, and then you had said it was, you know, like with the yoga, is that breathing is really going to do a lot for you. One that I would suggest is sitting up. I think I'm going to show this from 2 directions here, okay? I want you to think of sitting up nice and tall, right? Like it's important not to, you don't want to, it's sometimes easy, like, you know, it might be more natural for us to just feel like sitting like this, you know, but we need to actively pull ourselves up, okay, and sit tall, like I always say, with that marionette string. And from there, you're going to inhale. I want you to think of inhaling, filling your ribs up, like you're trying to inhale and fill up. And then as you exhale, I really want you to think of that exhale. I want you to be noisy. I want you to inhale and then exhale. Make noise with your exhale, because what that does is that forces your core to blow that air out of your belly, right? That makes you contract your core muscles just through your breathing alone, okay? So you can practice first with just sitting up nice and tall and big inhales, and then exhales. And I'm trying to pull my belly button back to my spine. Like when you're in a picture and you try to suck in, it's kind of the same feeling. You're trying to pull it all in, okay? And then what can help too is to warm you up even quicker. Sitting up nice and tall. Little arm pumps, okay? I am sitting up nice and tall here. I am not letting my posture slope, okay? And I'm doing quick little exhales. I'm gonna inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. So this is an inhale for 5 seconds and then an exhale for 5 seconds. Now with the inhale, you might just be like, I actually do a sniff for 5 seconds, 5 sniffs, right? So there's 5 inhales right in a row. And then my exhales are noisy. And the whole time, my arms are pumping. That arm pump is really going to generate a lot of heat into your body, but you're working your core really well. You can do this from a chair position, but ultimately what this exercise is a Pilates 100. So I'm not sure if some of you are familiar with Pilates or not, but your other alternatives would look like you could do this from your bed. You could do this from a position in your bed here with your knees up. Okay, so that's another option. And if that's too much, you could even do it with your feet flat on the floor too, okay? The important part is that you inhale for 5 and exhale for 5 for a handful of sets, anywhere from 5 to 10 sets, and your arms are pumping. The straight arms are pumping that whole entire time. I guarantee you, you will warm your body up doing that. I do it every single week and it never fails me. I always warm up through that breath and that, that core breathing right there.
That's awesome. Yeah. The Ujjayi breath. Yeah. That's what you were doing, the Ujjayi breath. That's amazing. So thank you so much for demonstrating. And if you can't get on the floor, you could also do that on your bed, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The best place is always, if you're like, how am I going to get off the floor and do that? Bed.
Yes. All these little considerations, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a way. We just got to think about, how can we, adjust that? So, yeah.
Exactly. No, this is wonderful. So I want to read a couple more comments we got from Karen. Good morning, Coach Elaine, Sally, and Z. Thanks again for sharing your positive chair workout energy on this lovely autumn day. Peace and blessings from Karen A. And I see there's a couple of people still got their cameras on. And Chris, did you have a question to ask? You look like he might have had a comment or a question.
No, just saying thank you and no questions of today.
Yay, it was a super duper workout. Those are the best workouts. Yes,
Yeah.
we've gotten lots of hearts from everybody. So on that positive note, let's have a terrific Tuesday, everybody. We got this. Thanks to Coach Elaine. We are revved up and ready for our day. Thanks so much, Coach Elaine. We'll see you next week. Take good care, everyone. Be well, stay well. Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.